Just going to go through a few break shots and stuff like in 9-ball, just cover a few. We have, in English pool you don't have this, but in 9-ball we have a template, it's called a magic rack. You'd be familiar with this, you've seen it before. What that does is, it makes every ball touch, so you put the balls on top of the mat, it's a thin piece of plastic, so every ball touches. So when the 9's on the spot, I mean, this morning me and Andy stuck the dots on, so they're probably not 100% where they should be, so it's not going to help, but when the table's been done for a tournament and we put the magic rack on, all the balls are touching, so it's in the exact same position. And then what we try and do is, when the 9's on the spot, we break, and we're trying to make the wing ball in here. Some players try and make the one in the side. It depends on what break you're doing. Usually to try and make this in here, you play this break shot with loads of left-hand spin, and it sort of squeezes it down. But because we're using a wooden triangle, because we don't have a magic rack, there'll be gaps in the rack. So that's why sometimes you see like players looking at the rack, because they're trying to read the rack. I don't really read the rack as such, because A, I'm not American, and when I started playing, I was playing in Europe with a magic rack, if you like, so that's how I've been brought into playing, do you know what I mean? But if the one was on the spot and we was using a magic rack, the wing ball will just fly in every time. So they've decided to put the rack higher, because obviously that's too easy, and anyone can just break and the wing goes in. So rule of thumb really when I'm breaking is I'm just trying to, we call it a cut break, so hit it hard and bring the cue ball off here and try and get it back into the middle, but with a slight hangover, trying to control it like that. You know, it's all about timing and feel, like I said, but that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to just hit it hard, cut break and come back. Because if you went head on with the 9 on spot, amazingly you come up dry a lot, you don't really seem to pop balls. So obviously people practicing have decided that you can still make the wing ball, do you know what I mean? So I don't know if you've like watched the 9-ball on telly, that's what you'll see. Everyone just trying to, you know, do the cut break. Well, you play like a stun shot if you like, but with a bit of side, or depending on how the table's breaking or what you're trying to achieve, I mean sometimes you can literally spin it like that. So you see it, see how the 4 went in? The spins, it's like squeezed it down out of the pack, as where if I set it up again now and hit it hard, it won't go in because of the way I'm going to hit it. You'll see probably where it goes. It just, for some reason when you spin it like that, it seems to squeeze it, you know, lower. But obviously, if you're playing a 3-point rule, I don't think I scored 3 points then, because I hit it too soft. Because they brought that in to stop the soft break, do you know what I mean? Because they wanted people hitting them hard. You get a point for potting a ball, and you get a point for a ball going past the string, the line. It doesn't have to stay there, it just got to go past, you know what I mean? Yeah, so if I do it again now, but without like loads of spin, let's see where the 4 goes. See where it didn't quite go in. See what I mean? I didn't have it. I still had spin on it, but not enough spin. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but obviously I got me 3 points because I potted a ball, and obviously balls went past. So that's all you're trying to do really. And obviously the cue ball's in the middle. That's the idea with the break. Does anyone want to have a crash at it? Go on then. Just a slight bit, but it's like I said, it depends on what type of break you're trying to achieve. Do you know what I mean? Obviously with this what I'm saying is, using this triangle, you would have to break different today, as opposed in a tournament if there's a magic rack. Depends on what tournament we're going to play in. I'll show you an 8-ball version on here, because obviously I don't play that 8-ball, but yeah, that was all right. If anything, it was probably a bit. I mean, obviously balls went in, but sometimes on the TV we've realised if you hit it a bit too thin and the white comes down here, you do have a lot of dry breaks. That's what we've, I'm not saying always, but it seems to, it does happen.
Does it really matter whether White is further up and further back, or is this...
I think more personal preference. Some people like to break off the hand. I prefer to break off this side rail here, me. I break from here. But you might not like that, do you know what I mean? See what I mean? It's a little bit thin, obviously it's going down. You want to be trying to... Yeah, you're probably more aiming... Well, you're aiming on the one to probably like hit here, if you like, around that spot.
So I'm aiming sort of there at the moment.
Yeah.
Inspect the rack, if you notice they're not all together, would you get it re-racked or would you just alter the brakes slightly?
Well, when we play on TV, you're not supposed to check the rack. It all depends on what tournament you're playing. When we play like in the Moscone or the World Cup, like a Sky TV event, they use a triangle, but I believe they tap a couple of these balls. Because what you do is if you do a little tap like that, it stays there, so you can tap a few balls. Because sometimes when you're setting them up, the one rolls off, doesn't it? You know, when you do that, so they've tapped it for that reason. So you're not really supposed to check the rack. It's like that there, when I pulled it off, the 6 ball moved like that. Do you know what I mean? That's why I think the magic rack, we should all just be using the magic rack, do you know what I mean? Because everyone's got a tight rack then, do you know what I mean? Try and aim like for the one here-ish. But it's amazing how different breaking is using a wooden triangle and a magic rack. It's worlds apart, do you know what I mean? And to go on to your 8 ball, like when you play 8 ball on one of these tables, the break's so much different to on an English pool table. When I used to play English pool, or I watched everybody play like the top boys, everyone just seemed to just whack them, if you know what I mean. There were no real sort of break. But when you play 8 ball on one of these tables, you break from the middle and you're trying to pop the white in the air. So on the break shot, it almost pops up like that and comes here. And the reason why you do that is you sort of, when I'm playing 8 ball or 10 ball, when it's a triangular rack and I'm breaking from the middle, obviously when you're playing English pool, you don't do this, do you, with a loop bridge? You probably break off your hand or off the rail, right? But in this game, when you're playing 8 ball, I do the loop bridge, and you see how I'm striking down on it? I'm quite high. I'm not breaking level, do you know what I mean? So i.e., if you're playing English pool, you're breaking like that, I'm guessing, or something like that, right? Well, when you play 8 ball at this, a lot of the guys have got quite a high bridge, and what happens is when you break, because you're slightly queuing down, the cue ball pops up, and what happens then is, if your timing's slightly out, and you said you go in the middle, you'll see it arc like that, and it always hits here. So you don't scratch in the middle, do you know what I mean? So just by slightly queuing down, that's what happens. As where, if you don't, you can just arc it in here. So that little bit of queuing down pops it up, and it'll arc past if you're not hitting it, you know, dead on.
When you're breaking, do you find yourself that you come up as you follow through, or do you try and stay down on the shot?
No, if I'm going to pot a ball, I'm like this, yeah?
Yeah.
If I'm breaking, I'm side on, because I'm getting...
But when you go through on the
Well,
shot, do you find that you come up? Sometimes I have a tendency of lifting the air.
The thing is, it's like a timing sort of thing. So I think if you want to break hard, you're not just going to go like that, for instance, are you? Because you're not going to get your maximum, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you can't just say, right, you've got to jump through the ball. It's like a timing thing, because you don't want to hit it and then jump up, or you don't want to jump too quick and then hit it. It's all like a motion, do you know what I mean? So when I'm breaking, I'm just like side on like that. My cue's not even on my chest, so I'm very loose. And then I'm sort of like coming up, and then it's like, it's all in the same motion, do you know what I mean? To go through. You can like go through it and then hit it, or hit it and then jump, do you know what I mean? It's just a practicing. When I first started playing though, because I come from that game, I was more sort of, I just picked it up, do you know what I mean? Just obviously because you play cue sports really. See, you see how you're striking down there, like off the cushion. Try and get your cue flat. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're striking down like that, it's going to be impossible for you to be consistent. Because it's like when you're bridging. No, off your hand, because yeah, off the rail, yeah, like that. I don't know if you feel comfortable doing it like that. You're trying to get the cue flat on the cushion. So if you notice me, when I come and I start to break, I don't put my hand down and then my cue's down, and then I come over the cue, do you know what I mean? My cue's always there. If I was to break like that, now, see the white, you're not going to be consistent with your cue ball because you're cueing down, you're going to put side on it and you know all this. It's like, you know, if you've got a cushion shot, if I said to you pop that, how would you cue up to that? Yeah, so yeah, but like that with your hand is how I would try and do the break, as opposed to cueing off like that. That's good for there, but I wouldn't advise doing it off the cushion.
Maybe just like that, sort of.
Yeah, like that, or you could break off your hand a little bit in if that's what you wanted. Do you know what I mean? But I just think when you're cueing off the cushion, you don't. You know, if you're bridging over a ball, it's like probably the hardest shot in it, and it's hard because you can't really see the pot. But it's so easy to put a little bit of side on it, which obviously swerves the white. There you go, parked it dead, second go. There you go, you're going to win next tournament with that, breaking like that, look at that. It's tremendous, let's just end it there. Yeah, just keep doing that. Try not to, you know, bridge like that off the cushion. Yeah, get away from that, that's a big no-no. Just because you know what I mean, you just put a bit of... The thing is, when you're playing, a lot of times when you miss a ball, if you see like that straight there, right? So obviously to pot this ball, it's literally centre of the cue ball and then straight. And what happens is, if you put a bit of side on it, so let's say you're cueing off the rail like that, so people, you know, they're cueing like this, yeah, and it's not steady, and you put right hand side on it, see where it went? And that's the same philosophy as that really. So the better your fundamentals and steady and all that, you know.